In early July 2025, a shocking piece of news sent shockwaves across Chinese social media. A man had disguised himself as a woman and secretly filmed intimate encounters with over 1,600 men of all ages, from the elderly to the young, regardless of their nationality, sexual orientation, or marital status. This quickly became a trending topic across every social media platform, with millions of comments, heated debates, and widespread shock over the man's bold and bizarre actions. However, what truly stunned the public was the reaction of the deceived men. They went to the man's house and uncovered a horrifying truth. Instead of getting angry or condemning him, these men continued to take part in the twisted game he had created. There was no strong reaction from them. They willingly, even cheerfully, kept engaging in intimate acts without showing any resistance. This strange silence and compliance left the online community questioning, why, even after learning the truth, did these men choose to stay silent and willingly continue? And what shocked people even more was that among those involved, many were straight men, some of them even quite good-looking. Was this merely a matter of curiosity, or did it reveal the corrupt nature lurking beneath the respectable, decent appearance of these men? And as always, before we start the video, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button to support our channel. Thank you so much, everyone. In early July 2025, an emergency call was made to the Nanjing district police. "I saw my private video leaked online," the caller reported. According to him, a clip capturing an intimate moment between himself and a woman was being circulated in a private chat group on social media. The victim received the clip from a friend and immediately recognized the woman in the video as Hong Ji, a one-night partner he had met through social media. What shocked him even more was that the video had been recorded without his consent, and every detail was captured with unsettling clarity. The police quickly launched an investigation. They quickly reassured the victim while collecting all possible evidence from the link and copies of the video. The footage showed him being intimate with a woman in a cramped room. Under the dim lighting, she wore a deep red dress, and her pale face was covered with a thick layer of powder. The hidden camera appeared to have been placed on a shelf, capturing the entire intimate scene between them. These images shocked the investigators, not only because of the serious violation of privacy, but also due to an unsettling feeling about the woman in the video. Though no concrete evidence had surfaced yet, something about her presence felt deeply wrong, a sign they could not afford to ignore. This incident sparked a horrifying theory. Could there be a predator disguising himself as a woman, luring men into intimate encounters, secretly filming them, and distributing those videos for some sinister purpose? The very thought sent chills down the spines of the investigation team, driving them to track down the figure known as Hong Ji, a shadow lurking somewhere, spreading fear and humiliation among victims who might not even realize they had fallen prey. Following the lead provided by the person who reported the incident, the police identified the location where he had met the woman, a small rental room tucked deep inside an alley in a working-class residential area of Jiangning district, Nanjing. When they arrived at the scene, everything appeared exactly like the setting in the video the victim had seen. The small, shabby room was miserably simple. The furniture was arranged in a fixed way, as if everything had been set up to repeatedly recreate the same scenario from the video. On the single bed, which still carried the scent of cheap perfume, lay a wrinkled bedsheet. A long dark brown wig was casually thrown over a chair next to several bright red lipsticks and a box of pale white powder. On the wall hooks hung several large-sized vintage-style dresses, swaying like props from an old film. What truly stunned the investigation team, however, were the piles of gifts stacked around the room. Cartons of fresh milk, large bottles of cooking oil, green-skinned watermelons, and even a brand new microwave still in its box. These items matched exactly the requests Hong Ji made to her victims, that when they arrived at the rendezvous, they had to bring a gift, even if it was just a carton of milk or a watermelon. Nanjing police believed that these gifts weren't merely a polite gesture for the rendezvous, but a clever tactic used by Hong Ji to profit from essential goods. Instead of taking direct cash, a way to avoid detection for engaging in prostitution, some of the gifts had already spoiled. Police suspected that Sister Hong's rendezvous schedule was so dense that new gifts kept arriving before the old ones could even be used. Through careful observation, the investigation team gradually built a profile of the victims, men who willingly participated in these encounters, even cheerfully, with no signs of coercion or struggle. Everything was neatly arranged, indicating that the encounters had gone smoothly. From women's clothing, wigs, to cosmetics, it was clear these were tools prepared for the culprit's flawless disguise. The scene in the room revealed that this person had invested considerable effort to become Hong Ji. From carefully selecting thoughtful gifts to applying makeup and using items like adhesive tape and chest pads to conceal and reshape his body. All those details made the investigators realize that they were standing inside a film set, meticulously staged by the perpetrator to secretly record explicit scenes under the guise of casual encounters. And it was right here that the most crucial clue about Hong Ji's true identity gradually came to light. At first, the scandal of the leaked explicit clip seemed to revolve solely around the person who reported it and the mysterious woman. The identity of the person in the video, temporarily referred to as Hong Ji, remained completely vague with no clear trace. She never left behind her real name. The social media account used to contact him had been newly created, with a blurry profile photo of a middle-aged woman whose face was partially obscured. The phone number Hong Ji provided was a disposable SIM card, registered under a fake ID. Altogether, it formed a perfect cover to conceal the perpetrator's true identity. The investigation team immediately decided to extract images of Hong Ji from the video and carry out facial recognition analysis. However, when facial recognition technology was applied, the results were disappointing. The heavy makeup and wig made the woman in the video unmatchable with any resident database. Every clue further reinforced the suspicion. Hong Ji wasn't a woman at all. Investigators continued to carefully scan the close-up frames for more details, and despite the incredibly meticulous makeup, they noticed a strange detail. The jawline and bridge of the nose appeared unnaturally sharp and angular, unlike those of a typical woman. The police even spotted a faint Adam's apple beneath the neck, a clear masculine trait that this person consistently hid with a choker necklace. During the process of identifying the victims, Nanjing police quickly realized that Mr. A was not the only one who had been deceived. Upon closely examining the videos and the gifts collected from the scene, they uncovered evidence suggesting that similar encounters had taken place on multiple occasions. Although at first the victims appeared hesitant and afraid of being judged, within just one day of discreet investigation, a series of other victims began to come forward. Several similar videos of Mr. A had already been leaked across private groups on WeChat, Bilibili, Pile, and other platforms, leaving many unable to stay silent. By July 6th, at least 12 men had come forward to report to the police. These individuals had endured in silence for a long time, overwhelmed by shame and guilt, however. Upon learning that the authorities had intervened, they realized they were not the only ones who had fallen into this trap, and according to the footage recorded by the perpetrator, there were over 1,600 men who had been intimate with this person. Each had their own story, but all shared one terrifying similarity. They met the woman who called herself Hong Ji through social media, were invited to a rented room, and all experienced moments of wild passion. What sent chills down the victims' spines was how the room's setup, the way it was decorated, the seduction scenario, and even the request to bring gifts were all exactly the same. As if everything had been meticulously copied, it became clear they had fallen victim to a systematic intimate scam, carefully staged and carried out with professional precision. Through the victim's testimonies, they recalled that her voice was slightly husky and deep, not like an ordinary woman's. In the dim, flickering light, One person noticed the thick, heavy makeup on Hong Ji's face. It looked almost like a mask. Another victim testified that, at the height of intimacy, when he placed his hand around her neck, he felt something hard beneath the necklace she always wore later. He shuddered as he realized that what he had touched was an Adam's apple. A distinct trait of a man, however, even though there were moments of suspicion during those intimate encounters. All of them were either too caught up in pleasure or too reluctant to stop once things had begun, so they deliberately ignored that unsettling feeling and continued. Some of the victims admitted that when they left, they felt uneasy and began to realize the truth. However, they didn't dare report it to the police right away, fearing shame and public backlash, especially those who were already married or held positions of influence in society. It was this silence from the victims that unintentionally enabled the fraudster to continue his deceit. It wasn't until their private videos were leaked and their reputations and lives were seriously threatened that they finally decided to come forward and report everything to the police. Although the authorities had gathered a significant amount of crucial data, identifying Hong Ji's true identity remained a difficult puzzle. There were no personal identification documents belonging to a man found at the scene. The landlord stated that the room was rented under the name of a middle-aged woman. Using a fake ID photo, when tracing the account Hong Ji used to contact and lure victims, system data showed that the account frequently logged in from a fixed IP address, precisely the rented room where Hong Ji had been living. During a review of the area's security cameras, police discovered footage of a suspicious middle-aged man, approximately 35 to 40 years old, with an average build. He was often seen wearing a face mask and neutral clothing like t-shirts, long pants, or a loose sun protection jacket. The man appeared in the late afternoon, carrying grocery bags before heading into the rented room. Neighbors reported that the tenant in that room had been living there for over a year, was discreet, and rarely interacted with anyone. When investigators accessed the original video files from the laptop seized in the rented room, they uncovered a massive archive of intimate videos, thousands of clips meticulously organized. Each file corresponded to a different man. Among them was a special folder named Myself. When they opened this folder, the officers were stunned. Inside were countless selfies of a man in casual clothing, the same man previously captured by security cameras. It was unmistakably the suspect the police had been hunting for all along. The answer was now clear. Hong Ji was in fact a man, and that man was Jiao, the owner of the laptop and the mastermind behind all the secretly recorded videos. The suspect was a 38-year-old man born in a small village in Henan province. He came from a farming family, and after finishing high school, Jiao left his hometown. Around 2019 to 2020, he claimed he would head to the city to make a living. Some sources believed he planned to go to Shanghai, but in reality, Jiao chose to settle in Nanjing to avoid drawing attention from acquaintances. There, Jiao spent some time wandering the streets, taking on various jobs to survive. At one point, he became an apprentice and assistant for a traveling fair troupe. Through this, Jiao acquired highly skilled makeup and disguise techniques, including the art of transforming into either a man or a woman, a craft traditionally used in stage performances. And it was during this period that a dark idea took root in his mind: to disguise himself as a woman in order to lure unsuspecting men. By the end of 2021, Jiao began to hatch his dark scheme. He realized that on social media, there were quite a few men attracted to older women, a not uncommon fantasy. Being a man himself, Jiao believed in his own makeup skills, and with his small, slender build, he decided to disguise himself as a mature lady, exploiting this weakness to deceive his victims. And so the persona of Hong Ji was born. Hong, meaning red, was a glamorous, alluring name that's Jiao's fondness for red lipstick, while Ji, meaning older sister, implied the image of a mature, experienced woman, someone older than the men he intended to target, according to verification from the Nanjing police. Hung Ji spent up to 2 hours every day on his transformation. From putting on wigs, attaching fake eyelashes, and wearing silicone breast pads, to applying 3 layers of makeup, all of it was meticulously done to create the image of a graceful, slender older woman. The result was so convincing that few would suspect this elegant lady was, in reality, a man in his 40s. Not only that, Hung Ji also used photo editing apps to create profile pictures of a beautiful woman with flawless, smooth skin on social media. Hung Ji introduced herself as a divorced woman living alone and looking for a sincere partner. This 38-year-old man even took on the role of a perfect woman in his daily life. Thanks to his meticulous disguises, Hung Ji not only made people online believe he was a woman, but also built a positive image among those around him, especially after receiving a steady stream of fruit and gifts from admirers. He would often pass them along to the cleaning staff in his apartment building, earning himself praise as a kind-hearted lady. What surprised everyone was Hung Ji's ability to maintain a convincingly feminine image, even without a voice changer. He could speak in a soft, delicate woman's voice for long periods without raising suspicion. This not only made those around him believe in his role as a woman, but also reinforced the elaborate disguise he had carefully built over the years. Interestingly, Hung Ji wasn't after money or expensive gifts. What truly fascinated him was the act of dating men. Every time a male visitor came to meet him, Hung Ji had only one request: a small offering as a token. It could be something as simple as food or fruit. In the videos, the men arriving at Hung Ji's rented room brought all sorts of peculiar gifts, ranging from watermelons, fruits, and cartons of milk to a half-used bottle of cooking oil. There was even a foreign man who, unaware of this rule, showed up empty-handed and was immediately kicked out by Hung Ji, who strictly upheld his principle: no gift, no entry. Most of Hung Ji's male visitors were university students, fitness trainers, married men, and even foreigners. They came from all ages and professions, including no shortage of so-called high-quality men, popular young influencers on social media with fit, attractive appearances. What shocked the public was that these men had been completely deceived by Hung Ji's disguise and willingly entered into intimate relationships, either entirely unaware or deliberately ignoring the fact that their online girlfriend was in reality a middle-aged man. When visiting Hung Ji's apartment, many men were stunned to discover the truth. Yet, the majority of them willingly accepted the situation and continued to engage in intimate relations with Hung Ji. This revelation sent shockwaves across social media, especially when it was revealed that over 1,600 men had voluntarily participated. Some victims even chose to return multiple times despite knowing the truth. There were those who stayed because of sexual attraction, others due to bisexual tendencies, and some admitted to feeling a strange sense of emotional dependence, as if this bizarre relationship had somehow become a genuine romance for them. Throughout the period from 2022 to 2025, Jiao maintained a steady hunting cycle that rarely changed. Each week, he could lure in around 3 to 4 men, though there were occasional breaks, usually when he returned to his hometown for visits. Number of videos recording him having sexual relations with the victims reached into the thousands. The news of Hung Ji's arrest triggered a storm of comments on Chinese social media and even spread overseas. Netizens were overwhelmed and disturbed by this one-of-a-kind incident. Many admitted that after reading the news, they felt like they were reading a joke. They simply couldn't believe their eyes. On the night of July 7th, the topic, Nanjing, Hung Ji arrested, quickly shot up to the #1 trending search on Weibo. A flood of posts, comments, and screenshots about the case appeared densely across social media platforms, creating an uncontrollable storm of attention. Many users swiftly compiled portraits of the victims featured in the videos and publicly shared them as warnings for girls to recognize and stay away. This not only stirred intense public outrage, but also sparked a wave of gossip that went too far. Some netizens even recognized acquaintances in these clips. Leaving them shocked, one girl spotted a man in the video who looked very much like her father. Others saw their husbands, while some found their fiancé, brother-in-law, or ex-boyfriend appearing on the list of victims. This case is seen as shattering the three views, completely overturning fundamental perspectives on morality, gender, and personal beliefs held by the vast majority of netizens. On platforms like Weibo and Douyin, countless comments expressed disgust and outrage, with harsh criticism aimed at Hong Ji and his partners who knowingly turned a blind eye for free pleasure. They believed that since it was going to happen anyway, they might as well blindly follow their desires. Disregarding ethics and gender boundaries, on the other hand, alongside the anger and reactions from the online community, there is also deep sympathy and concern for the wives and girlfriends of the male victims. Many predict that these male clients will face a major psychological disaster, being stigmatized by friends and family, experiencing broken marriages, or getting dumped by their girlfriends on Weibo. Many posts express sympathy for the relatives of the victims, asking what they would do if their brother, husband, or boyfriend were among those involved. This reflects the serious psychological impact of the incident, affecting not only those directly involved, but also the people around them. Many women have also expressed deep distrust after witnessing how men who appear respectable on the outside could chase such fleeting relationships. One Weibo user candidly shared, "I used to only fear men cheating with other women. Now I have to watch out for women in disguise." This statement reflects the disappointment and confusion felt by many as their trust in men, even those who seemed most trustworthy, has been seriously shaken. The Nanjing Hongji case, involving intimate relations with over 1,600 men, is not just a sensational topic for online gossip. It also serves as a major wake-up call, highlighting profound social and psychological issues in China. First of all, the case highlights the serious issue of identity deception online in the digital age. Nowadays, tools like beauty filters and voice-changing apps have made impersonation extremely easy. And the main suspect is a prime example of this. Young people today need to be even more cautious when making friends online, thoroughly verifying information before meeting strangers in real life to avoid becoming victims of similar scams. Secondly, the case exposes a hidden aspect of the psychology and behavior of certain groups of young men. Sociologists believe that this incident is not merely about deception, but also reflects the psychological conflicts among young people. Strong desires coupled with a lack of awareness and responsibility regarding moral and legal consequences. More seriously, Hong Ji's sexual partners are facing the risk of contracting infectious diseases due to their promiscuous behavior. What's worrying is that many people are willing to sacrifice their dignity just to satisfy momentary desires, even crossing gender boundaries once they are already involved. This serves as a clear wake-up call for sex education and moral values, especially for men, emphasizing the importance of controlling sexual desires and respecting ethical boundaries. In intimate relationships, the case is still ongoing, with Nanjing police continuing to expand their investigation. What do you think about this incident? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below so we can discuss together. Today's video ends here. Thank you all for watching until the very end. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.